Sergeant America coming at you. Boom! It's good to be back. Um, as you can see by the wonderful hat I'm adorning, I took a trip. I'm back from it. It was actually a cruise, so actually I didn't hit any comic shops. That was my biggest disappointment. Um, I did get downtown Seattle. I got right to where one of them was, but I was there like a half hour after it closed. So that was disappointing. Was not able to get back to it. So, needless to say, what I used the rest of the time for was relaxing, decompression. Um, sat there on the deck, looked out at the crystal blue ocean, uh, freezing cold because I went further north, which was nice. I mean, it's hot and warm here. Took my took my iPad, so I read my digital comics. Most of the bars that I went to on the boat, I'd have my drink, I'd read my comics, relax. Got to know Manny, one of the workers there. He was very interested, so we talked a little bit about digital. He also has an iPad, so I told him about some of the apps and what I use and what I was reading. He's a big, Avengers fan and everything he sees from the movies, and so he wants to get into reading. Like I said, I love my physical comics, but I believe digital has a place too. So, um, but hey, I'm back and I picked up my comics, so that's what this one's going to be about. Let's not make this too long. Moon Knight #5. This is the end of the arc, and I'll definitely be discussing it more. I'm contemplating if I'm going to continue on with it. It is a good story. It is a good story, but it's also a story that could have been done in 2, maybe 3 issues. So I don't know how I feel about that. It's Marvel. It's $4 an issue. I'm probably gonna have to flip through #6 and see if I want to continue. Like I said, it wasn't bad. It just, I don't know if it was just worth it for that. But let's get on to good stuff. Green Arrow. I'm enjoying this. This one, I don't know if the writer doesn't know how to decompress, or if we're getting less fingerprints in from editorial on this, but it's #4. It feels like it's flying along. I mean, I feel like I'm getting a good story out of it. I'm enjoying it. So, I mean, I definitely hope people are on Green Arrow. Both Otto and Fiera are doing great art, and Percy seems to really write a solid story now. So, I don't know what it was before, but it's working now. This is awesome. Suicide Squad. Boom. Evidently, the core team is going to be Harley, Deadshot, Boomerang, and then we'll have a array of different people that are brought in. This is, of course, a Rebirth issue. It's just to give you a feel. I really felt the first half of it was stronger than the second half. And on, everybody here who sees me knows a comic book round table that's on Saturday nights, like 8:30 Central, 6:30 Pacific, 6:45 Pacific. Oddfellow Thoughts channel. Like I said, I can't imagine there's anybody who knows me that doesn't know Oddfellow Thoughts. Please subscribe to that. Please watch it. Please enjoy it. We go into deeper in-depth into each comic. This one I'm just kind of kicking out what I'm reading and just a brief how everything is going. Sheriff of Babylon. Definitely enjoyed this one. Every time I read Tom King, and I love it, it just makes me wonder what's going on in Batman, because Batman could be so much better if they just let him run wild. But this one, yeah, it continues to be a good pacing, solid story, and there's even some deep thoughts. I was worried about being tied into terrorism, our war there in Iraq, and how everything is affected after the invasion, and it's not that. It's not as deep as that. It's definitely got a story of its own to tell, and I think that's what I like. It's not bogged down in the politics. So, once again, King, great writer. Babylon, Sheriff of Babylon, great story. But boom, I also got Dark Horse Presents Ladykillers. This is the second run. Get out there and get that trade from the first run. It was excellent. But you can jump into this and enjoy the storyline for what it is. It's what's her name? Jolie Jones does story and art, and I mean, if you look at the art in this, it is amazing. It is a style all onto her own. I definitely think it's a must buy. I mean, I dragged my feet so long in not picking up the single issues, but I did get the trade. Really enjoyed that. Let's get Marvel. Old Man Logan. We're now getting into a storyline of another, I guess, wonderful collaboration between Lemire and Sorrentino. In this one, it touches back to an old character that used to be Patch. I do remember that, picking it up when I was younger, and so there's a nostalgia factor that I think made this better for me than maybe most other people. But I still think it's the beginning of a wonderful run. I think it's going to be a 4-parter. And it says it's part 1, but it doesn't say of how many. I want to say 4, maybe 5. Depends on how they work out their trades. The Last Days of Magic finale, Doctor Strange. I guess there will be a change on number 12. So just be aware of that if you have it on special pulls or anything like that. But otherwise, I'm still enjoying the art. I love that storyline. Aaron's always seems to do a very good job with his stories. And I probably will read it one more time before Saturday night when we discuss it, just because I get that initial impression. I'm going to let it sit and stew, and then I'm going to read it one more time to see if I can't pull more thought into it. But otherwise, like I said, I've been enjoying it. Speaking of Aaron's, the Mighty Thor, I believe technically this came out last week, but it's of course I was gone for 2 weeks, or gone for a week, and now I'm still on vacation, so I was able to get to the comic store. I should have kicked this out a lot sooner. But for this book, it's picked up. It's running hard again. There was 2 issues with a different artist telling kind of a different thing. I'm glad we're back to the main storyline, and it's just wonderful. He's killing it. Lastly, I picked up Marvel Zombies Destroy hardcover. But as you can see, it's very, very thin. I got a great deal on it in my shop. It was about the price of a comic and a half, or a comic and some pages. And said for that price, I'm not going to pass it up. I do like the zombie verse. For the longest time, I wasn't picking it up because of Howard the Duck on there. Because I'm not a big fan of Howard the Duck. It's silly, Howard the Duck with my comic characters. Then I said, shut up. I can't believe, Sergeant, that you're saying that stuff. It's just hypocritical. It's a comic book. Read it. Enjoy it. Like it for what it is. And I am. And I'm liking everything. It's got some seriously nice artwork in there. It does look like it has a couple of different artists in it. So that was something that I should have just liked, just read it, enjoy it for what it is. Speaking of which, you may have noticed a couple extra names on my Moon Knight. I forgot to mention that. There is some things where he goes through where they use different artists and different colors in there, and it works well. A lot of comics are doing that. If they do a flashback, if they do a different thing, they use a different artist. Very smart. I'm really liking when they do that. Really enjoying that part of it too. And like I said, I got to get some of the stuff, to stew more in my head before Saturday. But like I said, I'm almost coming up on 10 minutes. It's not what these are about. These should be shorter than this. So if nothing else, let's just read, enjoy, vote with your dollars on your comic books, and catchphrase.